So tonight, I want to talk about how you set up the summer to be successful in the fall. And I have, see if I can share my screen. As if you know me, you know I like to do a mind map. And so here's our presentation. You can just read it, and then you can go your way. I don't know if you can read it that small. Okay, so we'll go through it then. All right, here we go. Is that better? Yeah. All right, and I will send this to you in outline form after we're done. So we'll do some discussing this kind of thing. But how to use your summer to set up for successful school year? One of the first things you want to do is map out your plan. What is it you're planning to do? The way I start that is I'd say pray, asking God what he would have you do on campus this year. And then ask the question, why? Why are you doing this event? Most of us don't think about the why. We think about the Wendy's on the table in Chris's picture. That's what we think about. Look at that milkshake right there. Anyway, most of us don't think about the why. We think about, oh, what? But the why is just as important, if not more important, than the what. Why are you doing this event? What do you hope to accomplish with it? Your purpose has to be clear, or your event will tend to be bland. All right? So, open up your mics here a little bit. We're going to practice the why. Why would you do a Bible study? What's your purpose?
To discuss like how we can integrate our faith into like relevant topics for like students or like current events.
Okay. Somebody else. Why would you do a Bible study? What do you think?
To get a better understanding of scripture and how it applies to our lives, I guess.
Okay. Good. Somebody else. Why would you do a Bible study?
To witness to others and like lead a discussion within your group so we can all like grow in Christianity together.
Okay, good. Somebody else. Why would you do a Bible study?
Definitely to introduce someone to Jesus.
Yeah. None of these are wrong answers. I just want you to think through the why. Somebody else. Why would you do a Bible study? With your group.
To encourage the members of the group, sometimes go through difficulties. So, studying the Bible together, it can be a tool of encouragement.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this question. Why do we typically do a Bible study? In reality.
In partial fulfillment of the requirements of the group.
And that's because we think that's what's expected. If we have an ACF group, we have to do a Bible study. And if we have to do a Bible study, well, I guess we need some Bible study stuff to do. And so we never really get farther than we do a Bible study because that's what we do. What if we were to say we do a Bible study because we're interested in promoting spiritual growth within each of our members? What if we said we do a Bible study because it's there that we transcend earth and we plug the divine into the mundane? What if we said we do a Bible study because it's there that we find reality, we find purpose and meaning for our own lives? So when I say the why is just as important as the what, This is what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? So your purpose has to be clear or your event's bland. So let's go on. Why would you do a tabling event? Let's think through that. Why would you do a tabling event? Why do you think?
I think the reason why you do a tabling event is to give people the opportunity to know who you are and purposely invite them to know Jesus through your life. Not necessarily just ACF, but just meeting new people in general.
Okay. Somebody else, why would you do a tabling event?
Maybe to like connect with students who wouldn't like naturally like seek out your events on their own. So you can just like get them when they're walking by or something.
Okay. Somebody else, why would you do a tabling event? What do you think, Shelby? Why would you do one?
So I missed the question. I was like, maybe he'll repeat it again. Can you say it one more time?
Okay, so we're looking at why. Why would you do a tabling event?
Tabling event. Okay, I heard the event. I couldn't hear the tabling. To reach out to new people on campus, especially like the freshmen who are just coming on, and to get your name out there so more people can hang out and come to your meetings.
Yeah, okay. Somebody else, why would you do a tabling event? So what if we said, because you want to provide an opportunity for people to have a place to belong? When you first got to your university, were you totally comfortable with the whole thing? Why not?
Because I felt like a guppy in an ocean of just, I don't even know anyone.
Right. So when you go to a new place and you suddenly feel like you're overwhelmed or you don't know where to go or whatnot, you need to find a place where you can actually carve out a niche for yourself to belong, right? So what if we could see ACF as an opportunity to give people an opportunity for a place for them to belong? What if we postured ourselves that way? We're here to give you a place to belong. We know that in a huge mass of humanity that we have on this campus, in a sea of faces, you need some faces that you recognize and you know, those are my people. I feel safe there. So what if we began looking at ACF as a place that says, guys, we want to provide simply a place for you to belong? How much more open would that be? Now, I'm not saying we should not say that we're a Seventh-day Adventist group. Matter of fact, I think we should. But I think that too oftentimes we draw lines and leave people out because we circle ourselves with our name and other people go, well, I don't know who that is. It's like saying, well, we're the Buddhist Association. Would you naturally gravitate towards that? Not typically. And so if we lead with Adventist Christian Fellowship, that's great. What does that mean? We're a place where we want to just provide a place for people to belong. And we do that through activities, events, Bible studies, hikes, we're, Christian organization, that kind of thing. But we want you to have a place to belong. Let's go on. Why would we do a game night? Let's talk about the why of a game night. Why do you think we should do a game night or would do a game night?
You change the setting of the meeting so you can see people from different perspectives, as well as giving them opportunities to interact without the stress of school or having to study or bringing any baggage, in a sense.
Good. Yeah, okay. Somebody else. Why would we do a game night? And again, I'm not saying you didn't have it. Go ahead. Somebody, Shelby was going to talk, I think.
Oh, I was just gonna say to help members get closer and connect more in a more like casual environment.
Okay. Yeah, there's something that happens when you just hang out and you have fun together that doesn't happen when you're in a group setting. You know, we come in and we sit down and we want to do our theme and we're going to accomplish what it is that we've come to do, and we hold a program, but we don't often let our guard down. We're there for the program or to see what somebody can build into me. But it is, what if we said that that game night was to help promote the growth of relationships within the group? That it was to give opportunity to get to be known on a deeper level in different settings. That it gives you an opportunity to bring yourself to an event and be known and to know and be known, I guess is what I was trying to say. Why should we do a hike? Just to pass a boring Sabbath afternoon? Well, let's go hike. That's a good activity.
I guess to like get outside, minimize Zoom fatigue, because like for us, all of our meetings have been on Zoom, and just to like give people a chance to talk to each other one-on-one, because on Zoom you can't like have a side conversation or engage with people in that way.
Sure. Okay, somebody else. What do you think, Cody?
To encourage a healthy lifestyle while still being in college.
Yeah, that's a good one. So if I were to look at a game night and I look at a hike or I look at bowling, tell me the similarities and tell me the differences. What can I do at one I can't do at the others, but what do they all have in common?
We're having fun, we're making memories, and at the same time kind of getting to know each other and bond as a group, kind of making an environment where people would want to come to and people would feel like they want to belong. There's something to look forward to. Yeah.
Sure.
Rather than the just normal mundane Bible study.
Okay, so it does begin to broaden that perspective and build relationships in a deeper way. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When I look at game night, hike, and bowling, there are some things I can actually accomplish outside, like Cody was saying a little while ago. In the hike, you're actually doing some exercise and being healthy as well, where you don't necessarily get that with bowling. I mean, unless you're a professional extreme bowler, you know, which I happen to be. I don't know if you knew that about me or not, but or not. Seriously, or not. But when you can begin creating win-wins and accomplishing two or more things at a time, then you begin to add extra value to your thing. So let's go on. Why would I go to a homeless shelter? Why would I take my group to a homeless shelter? What do you think? If I'm going to practice the why, what would be the purpose?
To share and show the love of God to others outside of just us, like our immediate group.
Okay, that's one thing. What else? What do you think?
Kind of like instill a sense of service.
Yes. Yeah, to begin developing a sense of service. That's right. Somebody else. What's the purpose of taking your group to a homeless shelter?
I guess getting outside of our campus bubble and just engaging with the community.
And could I suggest that maybe it helps people understand that themselves can make a difference. Those people in your group, we do this. So like I ran an Appalachian ministry for 28 years, where I took groups of high school students into the Appalachian Mountains to do home renovations. And we did decks and porches and floors and roofs and walls and places where people had had tornadoes suck out the two walls of a house, and we put those back together and rebuilt the rest of the house for them. But I did it not so much for the people of Appalachia as I did for the youth in my youth group, because I wanted them to understand that they had the power within them, within their hands, to make a difference in the lives of a whole lot of people. And so my purpose, though it was to help the people of Appalachia, wasn't simply to help the people of Appalachia. My purpose was twofold. Yeah, we're going to help the people of Appalachia, but I want my kids coming through my youth group and my church to understand that God has called us to serve others. And when we serve others, we are closer to finding out who we really are ourselves. We actually come to the point where we can find more pieces of ourselves that God has put within us that we haven't yet discovered. And when I serve, God begins to reveal those pieces to me a little bit more. And I discover, every time I go to serve, I discover something else about myself. Like, ooh, I was really judgmental with that guy. He smelled bad and I immediately judged him. Or, wow, I'm not as caring as I thought I was. And so God begins to reveal pieces of ourselves to us as we go to serve. And so one of the reasons that I would say you've got to do some service and outreach events is to help your group look outside of itself, because too often we do everything about our own comfort, about our own joy, about our own how we work, and we don't want to be bothered outside of that. But interestingly enough, many people, even and especially outside the church, are giving themselves to volunteerism, to making a difference. And so there's all kind of opportunities where you can make a difference if you just seek for those. So we look at that. Let's go on. Go back over here. So if we're mapping out our plan, the next question besides the why is, what are ways to accomplish your purpose? If you don't know what your purpose is, as we talk about the why, then it's pointless to kind of do a whole lot of what's. Then look at different ways to accomplish your purpose. And if you can hike, or if you like the thing you guys did there at Emory this last year, and I think Tech or maybe Georgia State did the same deal with that virtual running thing. You accomplish keeping people connected, but also helping them be accountable to being healthy. And so those are things that are ways to accomplish that purpose. So then you go on to say, when will you hold them? And then what needs to be accomplished to make this successful, and who's going to be responsible for making it happen? And then develop a timeline leading up to the event. And of course, you got to figure out what's the cost. What's it going to cost us? Because that's an important consideration, obviously. Okay, so map out your plan. We're going to talk about maybe a typical first semester plan here in just a little bit, but let's go on. Communicate with your team. Now, when I'm talking about your team here, I'm talking about your e-board. Set up different ways to communicate with your team and ask them to be accountable to a reasonable response time. Some people can leave you hanging for days. They don't answer you back. You know, typically, if you set up an e-board, ask them, tell them one of the things that we're expecting on this e-board is that you will be responsible to and be accountable to responding in a reasonable amount of time. What that is for your group, I don't know. If that's within 2 hours or if that's within 8 hours, you set that up, but decide what that is and then move through that. Use whatever avenue works best for communication. And use that tool to brainstorm, to keep them in the loop, to develop accountability, to share checklists. Now, one-way communication is different than two-way communication. Some leaders just do a one-way communication download dump. I'm sending you all this stuff, boom, deal with it. I have to do that often because I've got so many people I communicate with that I just send you a download dump. That's different though than two-way communication. One-way delegation is different than team approach. And so they require different tools. So you have to ask what app or device could we use? What tool can we use to make this work? So WhatsApp or Slack might be great for shared ideas, but you might want to consider a shared Evernote or Trello account for shared checklists. Are you familiar with Evernote and Trello? Have you ever heard of Trello? I'll give you a demonstration in a little bit. Just to give you one more tool, and there's a free version of it. But it's great for shared checklists. So you can put everybody on one board and assign all the stuff out. Everybody can go back there, and when they get it done, they check it off. And then you can look and see who's checked off their stuff, who hasn't. You can even assign them by names, and you can put different colors on all the names. If you're a color coordinated type of person, whatever makes you happy, you can do that kind of thing too. Okay, next, communicate regularly with those not on your core team. In other words, the rest of your group. Now, the more they hear from you this summer, the more excited they'll be to be back on campus and involved. I will be sending out in the next week or two, I'll be sending out emails to all graduating high school seniors that we have in our database from all the public high schools that have come to Oasis High School Retreat. I'll also be visiting all 3 Adventist academies within our conference. And as I do so, one of the things I'm handing them is a card that has all of the ACF email accounts on them. And they will be contacting those email accounts if they have an interest in your school. So I'm going to ask you especially to be checking those in the next 4 to 6 weeks, because this is a great group builder. If you have someone that's interested and you right away say, yes, glad to have you, I'm adding you to our communication, and then you communicate with them rather than just one time answering or not answering at all or whatever, and then letting it go for forever and ever. If they hear from you, they begin to get more excited. I remember when I was at GCA, I had 2 twin boys that both got, and they went to Tech. They got full ride scholarships to Tech. They were a lot smarter than I was, because I didn't get scholarships to nothing, but when I was going through school. But anyway, they got scholarships to Tech, but before they left, as a pastor, I called down and found out who the ACF president was at Tech. I gave them both those boys' names and phone numbers. And before the day was ended, that president had emailed or texted them and said, hey, when you're coming down next, stop by, I'll take you around and show you the campus and so forth. Well, it just so happened they were going to go down 4 days later. And they said, well, we're going to be down there on Sunday. He said, I'll meet you. And they set up a place to meet. They went around. Those 2 boys went all the way through their entire collegiate career as ACF officers because they got tied in before they ever got there. One was a president, one was a treasurer, and one, their last year, I think it was a vice president. Anyway, they went through being ACF officers their entire year. They were fully, all 4 years, fully responsive and fully excited about ACF, and they recruited a whole lot of people. Now, that's just 2 guys that came and they were excited about it because somebody met them and spent an hour saying, yeah, this is that building, that's this building. So they didn't feel so lost in this huge university campus. They took the discomfort out of the whole experience for them. So if you have somebody that emails you this summer, try to set up a time if you're going to be around the campus. If not, try to send them helpful links that make them feel not so lost. You know, send them a campus map and try to do those kind of things that will help them feel like, here's somebody that cares about me. And especially, this is where we're going to first meet. So we want to see you there. So the more they hear from you this summer, the more excited they'll be to be back when they get back on campus to be involved. The more in the loop they are, the more invested they're going to be when they get back to campus. So I would suggest you maybe either start a summer newsletter or start a Slack channel or a group text or Instagram. You may already have some of this stuff going, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, but consistently talk about what's coming up. You can put pictures about what's happened, but what's coming up and how to be involved are two important pieces. If you put what's coming up but never how to be involved or where to connect, it's pretty hard for newcomers to get in. And what you want to do is make newcomers part of your group so they begin to swell the ranks of your group, and it gives you a broader group to actually choose leaders from for next year, for the following year. And so make sure that you connect them before they get there. Catherine, when we think of Benzie, we connected Benzie before he ever got to Emory, because I had an ACF advisor down in Florida where he was at contact me and say, hey, Benzie's coming up to Emory. Do you have anything at Emory? I said, absolutely. And so I sent a thing to Danielle, and I sent one to Aunt Margot, and I said, this guy's coming. You guys need to contact him. And so before Benzie got there, he was already plugged in, and he's vice president this year at Emory. So start that summer newsletter, contact them. As soon as you have the first semester calendar nailed down, send that out to them. This is what's happening. Here's the schedule of events. That does two things. One, it helps them save those dates. And two, it helps you be accountable to running what you said you're going to run. It keeps you consistent. Try not to cancel anything unless you absolutely have to. But if you put those things on their calendar, they're going to be more excited. And then you have a lot less people saying, I can't be there this week. I didn't even know about it. But if you said, here's this semester calendar, put this on your calendars now and try to plan around it, try to plan to be here, it begins to build your group and begin to build more excitement rather than, oh man, I'm sorry, I can't be there, didn't know about it, yada, yada, I forgot all about it, yada, yada. And so if you communicate regularly with those not people not on your core team, you'll find they begin to participate more regularly. Let's go on. Use Zoom to begin your year this summer. You're not going to be on campus, but you got Zoom. And if you don't have a regular Zoom thing for your chapter, you're welcome to use the conference ACF Zoom account to do what you need to do. We have that. If you don't know how to get on that, you can contact me later and I'll walk you through it, give you all the passwords and so forth, and you can get on there and you can schedule it with the Zoom calendar that Betsa set up so that your group can actually use it for your e-boards. You can use it for planning. And then of course, every Friday night, there's that weekly ACF United prayer line on there. So, but set up a Zoom call for incoming freshmen as an orientation to college life in ACF. So if you've got 2 or 3 are coming, set up a Zoom call with those 2 or 3 and say, hey, I just want to be available for you to ask questions. And let them ask questions. And most of the questions you'll probably have an answer to because you've lived on that campus. What do you guys do when it comes to, where do you eat and this kind of thing? Those are things that when you first get to campus, you have no clue. And you have to go through the aspect. The more they can get that information ahead of time, the more they're willing to plug into you. They're going to relate to you. So when you do something, they're going to be there. Do a weekly Bible study to stay in contact and to build spiritual growth within your group. Focus on that kind of thing. Encourage others to join the weekly ACF United prayer line so you can cross-pollinate with others in the ACF family. And utilize it for your e-board meetings. Encourage all to turn on their cameras to encourage group bonding. Now I know you're Zoom fatigued, but some of the Zoom meetings that I'm in with the North American Division, they want us to be with our cameras on so that we can actually read expressions, we can actually see each other, and group bonding begins to happen. I know it's a lot easier to just keep the camera off, but no one goes to church and hides in a room closet. You don't go to church to hide out and hope nobody sees you. So don't hide out on an ACF call if you want to build community. That's the purpose. If it's the purpose is to build community, then encourage people to turn their cameras on. I'll leave you alone. Those of you with your cameras off tonight, it's cool. But I'm just saying that you should feel very, very, very guilty right now. Oh, look at that camera. Come on, Jalen. See, the guilt is working. But what I am trying to say is community building happens best when you can see face to face. Personal attacks. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I repent, kind of. All right. Last one, hit the ground running. Have your plan fully in mind. Set a time to meet all the new people and make sure you communicate it widely. Don't forget local church bulletins. Sometimes we don't think about putting stuff in local church bulletins, but you may have people that come to that church the first couple of Sabbaths of the school year because they're looking for a church family. They don't even know there's Adventists on campus. And if you use that church bulletin and you say, you know, ACF on this campus is getting together at such a time, you may have people sitting in that church because they found the local Adventist church that had no clue you were even anywhere on campus. So don't forget those. See if there's a school bulletin board that you might be able to post on inviting any Seventh-day Adventists on campus to come join you at an ACF meeting. A lot of new students will come to the school bulletin boards to read through because they're trying to get as much information as they can so they don't feel stupid when they get on campus. And if they're reading through there and it says, you know, something along the lines of all Seventh-day Adventist students are encouraged to contact our local ACF Adventist Christian Fellowship. Don't abbreviate because most people won't know what ACF means, but Adventist Christian Fellowship Group, which meets on, you know, whatever. But if you can get onto a school bulletin board, you will find that there are people that are Adventists on your campus that you never knew were there or even existed. I mean, come on, when you start thinking about in terms of 20, 30, 40,000 people on a campus, there's got to be more than 8 Adventists. Especially considering that we now know about 60% of Adventist students are going to public universities. They're not going to Seventh-day Adventist colleges. About 60%. Which means that if you've got a university that's got 20,000 people on campus, you should have close to 50 to 100 Seventh-day Adventist kids there. If you've got 30 to 40,000, you can have as many as 200, 250 Seventh-day Adventist kids there. And then you say, well, where are they? Well, part of it comes in how well we actively look and pursue those people because they don't know there's anything available. Now, I'm trying to make it known from my end to pastors and so forth. If you've got a student going to one of these universities, have them contact this chapter. I'm trying to make it known through seniors that are graduating saying, hey, if you're going to public university, here's where we have chapters. I'm trying to make it known to a lot of different avenues, but there's a lot that don't get that and end up coming to your university and they have no clue that ACF even exists. Just today on our Facebook account for the conference, I got a guy who said, hey, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist at Georgia State. I would love to join your congregation. That's what he called our ACF chapter. I would love to join your congregation. I sent his name to Chris. Chris is going to get in touch with him tonight. And he is a transfer student, or he's a foreign student from Nairobi, Kenya. So he's wanting to be involved. Adventist kid, been an Adventist all his life, did not know there was anything on campus at all. And suddenly came across the Adventist Christian Fellowship Facebook site. And then he's saying, wow, can I get in on this thing? So again, you don't know how many are on your campus. And so we've got to do a better job actually at seeing what other avenues we can use to let people know that we exist and become a place where people can belong. And I would say a place that people can belong even before they believe. So it doesn't have to be just, you know, that they're Seventh-day Adventists, but a place they can believe. Now, here's another idea for you. At your tabling events, utilize something to slow people down so you can talk to them, like a giant Jenga game. You can get 1 or 2 people playing giant Jenga, and everybody will slow down and stop to watch. Then, as they slow down to stop to watch, have a few of your members be ready to engage the observers. UTK just bought a gigantic chess set. This thing, the pieces are like 2.5, 3 feet tall. Because on the campus of UTK, chess is a big deal. Their plan is at their tabling events to set up in a place where they can put the chess game behind their table so that people will stop there to watch the chess game. And as they stop to watch the chess game, they're going to have people ready to begin conversations with them. And you know, what group is this? Are you guys a chess group? Well, no, we're actually a Christian group, and we do a spaghetti dinner every Wednesday night. And we have, you know, here's a place where we meet. We do a lot of on-campus activities, and we just want you to know you can come hang out with us. So use something that slows people down, because people, as you know, if you've done tabling, they're always walking by in a hurry. Now, that some meander through and they'll pick up freebies from every table if you're giving away stuff. But there's other people who just kind of, they're looking for 1 or 2 tables and then they're done. So if you give them a reason to stop and chat, they'll stop and chat. And something like giant Jenga or giant chess or giant something, maybe huge cards, I don't know, or a giant bubble thing. I don't know, get some water guns and have a target shootout. I don't know. Anything that slows people down that you can have your members ready to engage the observers. And then pray your way through it and God will help you. I really believe that. So there's that one. Now let me shift to say, okay, what are things that we should be doing? Can you see this one? That says e-board meetings. Okay, so let's just try, whoops. Well, that's just the preview. All right. So if I were to put together a first semester plan, is that bigger? That's better. ACF first semester plans. Jalen has this because he and I did this the other night, but I can send this to the rest of you. So you look at your e-board meetings to plan your back to school gatherings, your tabling events, your Bible studies, your general body meetings, your social events. Back to school gathering ideas would be icebreaker party or devotional thought, some other topic you want to give it. The tabling would be giveaways, a volunteer sign up, ACF brochures, collecting prospective members' contact info, assigning times for volunteers to man the table, something eye-catching to slow people down like we were just talking about. In your e-board, take your Bible studies and say, let's look at topics. Let's look at who's going to lead out. Let's look at times. There are a whole lot of Bible study stuff available. Have you seen The Chosen? Any of you guys seen that one? They just started
Greatest
season
Bible
2.
show ever.
It is the absolute best. And so what I would suggest, if you've not seen The Chosen, there's 8 episodes in season 1. And you get it on the app. That's the place you get it. They have it. Go to the App Store and look for The Chosen app. And it is the best story of Jesus you've ever seen in your life. And I would use one of those. They're about 30 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes in length, 20 to 30 minutes, I guess. And watch that, and then just have a series of questions that you ask, because it takes you totally away from all the cliche-ish things you hear about the Bible. So move beyond just a typical Bible study. Use those videos, and that gets them into there, and then say, do you think Jesus was really like that? Do you think Jesus really laughed with those kids? How did that, how does that draw you to him, and those kind of things? And they're finding that this series is one where people are going, wow, if that's what Jesus is like, I want to be close to him. I mean, you can binge watch the whole thing yourself, but because I did. My wife and I sat down and we watched most of season 1. We saw it after they had 4 episodes out, and we binge watched those 4 episodes, and then we were like, okay, hurry. So they just put season 2. If you haven't watched season 1, though, don't start season 2. because season 2 pilot only makes sense if you've seen season 1. But anyway, it is the freshest view of Jesus and his disciples you've ever seen. And the chosen are the ones to talk about how did Jesus choose those ones he chose, and how, you know, he got them to follow him. And there's humor, there's drama, there's all kind of stuff in this thing. And I would use that seriously as like a first semester Bible study. There's 8 episodes. Right now, you could do 8 weeks that way. Now, by then, you'll probably have, there's an episode came out last week. They're having one that comes out this week on Tuesday night, episode 2 of season 2. But get the Chosen app, and then you can stream it. They got it where you can SmartCast it to any smart TV, so you can put it on the big screen for people if you have a thing that can SmartCast. But use the Chosen app, and then you can follow through. They also have a whole lot of extra material, interviews, and those kind of things that you can use as part of your Bible study as well. But I would just simply ask the same kind of questions. Do you think Jesus was like that? What did you think of Peter? Who did you relate to the most in this thing? Because as you watch it, you're going, man, that's me. I do that all the time. Shoot. But the way that Jesus handles them, you go, wow, that's the Jesus I like. That's the kind of Jesus I would be drawn to. And so if you have an atheist that comes to your crowd, to your group, you could say, would you be drawn to a Jesus like that? Because most of their impressions about Jesus come from Jesus's followers who aren't all that nice. And you know, so the Chosen would be one that I would use. The BibleProject.com is another one I would use for Bible studies. It is excellent. And they continue to put new videos and discussion things on there all the time. A third one I would use, and I won't overwhelm you with stuff, is IBelieveBible.com. They've got full-blown Bible studies ready to roll. IBelieveBible.com, if you were to look at theirs, let me see if I can find, just to show you. This is done by there's a group of young adult Adventists that do this site here. The other two are not Adventists, but this one is. But it's a web series for youth and young adults who want to dig deeper into issues of faith and spirituality. So IBelieveBible.com, and you can go through here and it'll tell you, it's got an article, it's got a video, it's got a story vault, and it comes from the Old Testament, whatever. So you can look at different ones, and they've got series that go through there. So let's say you have to go live. I don't even know what that's about, but you come here and you start out, it's got a video that starts it out as an intro. Can you see that one? Okay, so it starts out with a video. Then it has an article that goes with it, and then it has one of the Bible Project videos that's already embedded in there. So it's got a second video from the Bible Project that we were just talking about. Then you have more to go through. Then you got study questions. All right, that go on down. So it's basically a Bible study in a box, so to speak. You just open it, take some time ahead of time so you know where you're going with it. Maybe put some of your own questions, but you can actually do a complete Bible study and spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time and have it completely ready for you. So there's a really good way to do it. IBelieveBible.com, and they got all kind of there's ways to connect. Need advice about faith and spirituality? Connect with a Christian mentor. They got Solomon and the Kings, and tons of Bible studies there. And each of these have got Instagram posts that you can put out to advertise. Christian service, end of time, apocalyptic. So yeah, 14 posts are tagged as this is page 1 of 3, so you can go over and there's still more. all of these have got complete Bible studies you can go through hard times. And it'll have a video, an article, Bible text, and then questions. So just to help you with that. All right. Plan your general body meetings and your social events. And I would say you need at least one social event, whether it's on a Sabbath afternoon hike or whether it's a game night or whatever, at least one a month to help grow your group. The more you do socially, the more people will want to come, and it becomes part of who they are. And even if you just have a hangout at a park somewhere, we're going to hang out Sabbath afternoon at this park, throw frisbees around and whatever, but a place where they can go when they don't have any other place to go, a place they can belong. And then don't forget the conference restart event. It's going to be restart/connect mega event. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be August 27 to 29. If you don't have that, and by the way, those of you who are graduating this year can still come because you didn't get to go to Connect this year. We'll still let you come. But we're going to be doing a mega event. It'll be Friday night, all day Sabbath, and most of the day Sunday. And we'll have access to a whole lot more stuff than we do when we do it in the winter, because the swimming pool will be open. We'll have the canoes open all day. We'll have the zip line, the flying chair. We'll have the blob that you jump off this giant pillow off this tower, and then somebody jumps off behind and fires you into the air, into the water. That's a fun one. There's also a trapeze that you jump off a tower and you swing out over the water and drop in. We'll have all that available to us, and possibly even the wake park. If you wakeboard, there's a wake park that's a single line thing, so we may even have that open. Don't know for sure yet, but we'll have a lot of stuff open to us because it's in the summertime, and so we're going to plan on spending. We're going to have served breakfast and lunch that day, and then whenever in the afternoon you want to leave. But that's going to be August 27 to 29. So don't forget about that. And if you are graduating this year, the very next weekend, just to let you know, is our young adult life retreat. So if you graduate from ACF, it doesn't mean you're done, because in Georgia-Cumberland Conference, we also have young adult life, which I also lead. So I have all collegiate and post-collegiate ministries. So I lead post-collegiate young adults, and we'll be doing our post-collegiate young adult life retreat September 3 to 6 at Cohutta. It's going to cost somewhere between 65 and 85. I don't have as much money to subsidize it as I do ACF. ACF's going to be $20 for that weekend. But if you're a recent graduate from ACF, I will be giving you a special 50% off discount for that weekend. So if you're a graduate. Anyway, so as you look at your first semester plans, maybe map it out like this. And if you want this particular PDF, I can drop this into the chat real quick. First of all, let me drop the outline of what we just went over, called Using Your Summer to Set Up for Successful School Year. I just dropped that in the chat. And let me see if I can stop sharing here so I can see my other screen. And first semester plans, I'll drop that in the chat. There you go. All free. Man, what a deal. All right. Thoughts, questions, comments?
Can you repeat the name of the website you were talking about for the Bible study in the box? IBelieveBible.com. I'll type that there. Oh, I heard Ivy League Bible. Gotcha. Okay.
TheBibleProject.com is another one. The Chosen. Get the app from either Google Play or the Apple Store. Those are three that I would just suggest that you look at. And you can even use some of these like this summer to build your group, doing some of the I Believe Bible stuff during the summer, or a watch party of the Chosen. you know. There's just, the idea is create meaningful points of contact for people and get them excited about being part of your group next year. That's the whole point of it. So any other thoughts or questions?
Do you have a person already like chosen for speaking for Connect? Or do you,
I do not.
are you taking any suggestions at all or anything like that?
I'm getting ready to set up a committee to help me plan Connect. If you'd like to be on it, let me know.
I'm interested.
Okay, I'll put your name down. I heard it here first. Anybody else interested in being on it? Connect planning. Or no? Okay, that's fine. Jalen and I will plan a great weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, I'm cooking, so I missed that part. Were you saying, do you need help planning?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I can help again.
Okay. Shelby's on. Good. And of course, if you do help on the planning team, you get to come free. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I'm happy I said something. Hey, God
There you
works in
go.
mysterious ways.
He does. You just saved $20, my man.
Hey, that's the gas when I'm gonna put into my car to get up there.
There you go. Of course, we do work it out of you, but other than that, it's we take that $20 in trade.
Oh no.
That's not that bad. All right. Any other thoughts or questions before we go?
Yeah, I was curious. I think it was actually Jalen that mentioned it last time. Is there a way we could get like some sort of calendar, like updated like events on like the general ACF website? I don't know how much work it is for you guys, but I was wondering if like prospective like high school students wanted to join like some of our events, because we're still all virtual. Like we'd love to have them, but I don't know if that's feasible on your guys' side.
We can put a calendar on there. What we found was that nobody contributed to the calendar. So what it would take would be a cooperative effort by all the chapters sending bets of their stuff to put on the ACF master calendar. So it would say like, you know, Georgia State's doing this, Kennesaw State's doing that, Emory's doing this, ETSU is doing this, Georgia Tech is doing this, UGA, whatever. So we could have that on there, and we're happy to do that. We took the calendar off because it's kind of pointless to have an empty calendar except for our 3 events, when we can just list those 3 conference events.
I feel like it may be impossible right now to try to do that for the end of the semester. So
Yeah,
I think personally that as we're changing guards and everything like that, and e-boards are getting voted in and out, if we could get like a set date for maybe August or September to have all of our dates kind of concrete or at least semi-permanent for at least the first half of the semester for all the different clubs and stuff like that, for a deadline for the new people who are coming in. Because I know personally I won't be president next year. So I want to at least tell the people who I'm helping mentor to take my spots and stuff like that so they can prepare it in advance. Because this past year, because of COVID and everything like that, we've basically been planning at least at the most a month in advance for most of the things. So if we have the summer to kind of get back up and running and May, I guess we can have at least the first semester kind of planned out entirely, at least our club, and maybe other chapters too can have that set up so we can actually have a set calendar to run off of so everybody can support each other as well. So it's not just 6 or 7 people in a Zoom call or in a room or something sometimes.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like, go ahead.
But
Oh, I was saying, yeah, like first, I think COVID has kind of affected our group a little bit differently, where we're just kind of planning things week to week, because then people are like, oh, wait, I actually am really stressed and I don't want to do anything this week. So I'm like, okay, well, then should we just not have this event? So we'll like be kind of planning on like a weekly basis. So I was almost wondering if like, I don't know if it would help to have like a Google, like not even like a calendar, but maybe like a Google form or like a table or something. So like we can edit it as necessary. I don't know. Or should we have stuff in advance? I don't know. But it seems like it'd be that way we could go in and change stuff. But I don't know if that's easier for you guys if it's a month in advance.
I don't know how, this is my side of things, because Betsa does all the website stuff and she does it in Word, I think it's WordPress. No,
Okay.
Squarespace. I don't know how that all works, so I'd have to ask her that. I mean, I like the idea and I'm willing to help you guys whatever way I can that way.
Yeah, I know what we did for our group is we did like Danielle, the previous president, had a really great idea where she said, "Oh, let's just make like I think it was like a Google like Excel sheet or whatever, like a Google Sheets where it has like a list of all like the local churches in case people are coming in and they don't know where to go to church or something." And then we had like if they were like online options or not. But it was nice because we would send out the link and like the link we sent out, they could access it, but they couldn't edit it, but we could edit it as necessary. So if we like discovered a new church, we could add stuff in there and then like everyone still had access to that link. So there was no like, no one stressed about trying to put everything in by a certain deadline, but we could still put things on as necessary. But yeah, I don't know if that would work with Squarespace.
It could. I mean, it could be that we would do a link just to that on our Square. You could just put a link on there that would
Right.
take you to that. I would be interested in seeing how you guys did that. If you'll send me a link to that, I can have Betsa because she has to visualize it. But if we could do something like that, I think that'd be a great idea. Here's the other thing I wanted to throw past you guys tonight. You know how last year we did the summer writing a playbook for those, for use in ACF during COVID. My thing this summer I'd like to do is write an ACF officer's guide. So you just get elected to be some officer. What does that mean? What do you do? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, it definitely would be helpful for those who get kind of tossed into things, especially with the people at least I know who are going to possibly be taking over. That might be helpful for them. So I don't know how long would that be and like what kind of commitment would that be? Because I don't want to make commitment and then have to.
The way I'm looking at doing this one is different than doing a weekly. What I'm thinking about doing this one is sending out like a Google form that you would say, okay, as president, what is it you wish you had known?
Gotcha.
Give me the top 3 ideas that really soared for your chapter.
So if that's the case, will it be something we can share with the other e-board members, or is it going to be strictly president?
Yeah. No. So I'd be saying, here's one for each office. What do you consider the office, the primary concerns of this office to be? And then I would take them from all the different chapters and edit that and say, okay, here's what I'm looking at. If I'm going to be a treasurer for this, what do I need to know? If I'm going to be a vice president, if I'm going to be a president, if I'm in communications, and then I want to have a whole section of just ideas. So we do it under different sections. So there's like Bible study ideas and links. Then we do outreach ideas. We do social events ideas, your best 3 social events that work, because what worked for you, somebody else in another chapter probably doesn't even think about. And suddenly if they see that, they go, oh, we could do that. That would be fun. And it begins an idea cross-pollination that begins helping everybody involved. So what do you guys think of that idea?
I think it's very nice, and especially for me, looking back, I feel like, especially in the chapter where I am, I kind of had to define the role for myself. It's not something that I was, I don't feel like a lot was handed down to me when I came in. And so it's been kind of just like figure it out as we go type of thing. Yeah. And so it probably would help to kind of have something for, yeah. for other people to come and catch up with.
That's the intent.
Mhm.
That's the intent. And I'll be honest with you, I was seeking the same thing when I came into this job at the conference office. I had very little handed down to me. There was some handed down to me, and Michaela had, she had built a lot of stuff, and yet at the same time, when it came to a nationwide structure, it was not in place. And so when I said, well, who do I turn to here? She'd say, I don't know. I'd say, well, where do I go for that? I don't know. I just kind of been figuring it out. And so my last 4 or 5 years, it's been figuring it out and trying to make it work and problem solving. So that's kind of how we figured it out. So my next step of figuring it out is to help put something in the hands of every officer when they come in. We'll do it online as a PDF first, but I'm eventually going to get it to the point where we put it in a magazine format so that you actually have a magazine that you can hold and say, wow, this is cool. So I can go through it and read it and begin making marks and saying, we want to try this idea and so forth. So between now and probably July 1, I'm going to begin sending out these forms. And if you are not, if I send it to the president and you're not, like I sent out a vice president one, and you're not the vice president, send it to the vice president and say, would you help me fill this out? Or if you've been a vice president, put your own ideas down. You can also send the link, because I can get as many people filling out that form as you want. And I think the more input, the better. Because we all look at this differently, and I'd like to just begin to codify it a little bit to say, if you are elected to be president, here's what's expected. Because nothing is harder than trying to convince somebody to do something when you say, well, what do you do? Well, I don't know, you just kind of figure it out. They go, no, I can't commit to that. If you could tell me this is what I do, this is what I don't have to do, then I can go, yeah, I can make time for that. And obviously not wanting to lock it in, because I don't want to stifle creativity, because there's some people that can come out with new things that they, want to go in for. So that's kind of what I'm thinking up for the summer. So be my writing project, and then we'll put this together again in Georgia-Cumberland, and we'll make a North American Division-wide thing. They're using the playbook all over the North American Division now. I had to do a NAD version and take out all the stuff, like call the conference office, you want money for this kind of thing. Those little things. I took that all the way out of that one because I didn't want everybody around the nation calling me for money. But anyway, that's kind of what I've chosen to work on this summer to try to make a bigger contribution to ACF at large. If you haven't heard, by the way, Catherine has heard because she wrote for it. We're doing an ACF issue of our 71.5 magazine. That's a magazine that my post-collegiate world publishes out of my office. And if you haven't ever seen it, 715youthmag.com. You can get some examples of it, but it's $10 a year to subscribe. But we're going to actually have an ACF, nationwide ACF version coming out in about 3.5 weeks. The editors are just about done. I'm supposed to get my first preview of it, which I go through for theological content and so forth. And then this week, I'm supposed to get it like Tuesday night, and then we'll get that turned around. And once she gets that, by the end of the week, she's supposed to send it to the printers. And it's a couple of weeks typically there, and then they're going to mail out. So I will be giving you guys some. I'm ordering extra copies for the ACF chapters, so that if you have somebody that's really interested in ACF, doesn't know what it's about, at your tabling events this next year, you could actually have some magazines laid out that has ACF issue and what it's about. And it's written by people from all over the United States. mostly Georgia-Cumberland and Texas took it on. We have one guy from California and a few other people. I think one from Canada. I don't know, but it talks about what is ACF and my ACF experience and so forth. So it'll be something that you should be able, if I order enough extra copies, you should be able to put some out on your table. Not that you give them to everybody, but if somebody's really interested, you can say, well, here, take one of those with you. Or you can sit and look at it, and that gives you time. Again, that's something that can slow them down. Gives you time to say, this is what ACF's about. And there's also some just great stories in there. So lots coming up on this docket. I'm jumping back and forth between the collegiate and the post-collegiate world, and I'm trying to join the two. So it's all working. So, all right. Anything else?
I have one
We're
question.
well past. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Will you be sending us the recording of this meeting? Because some of my members weren't able to make it.
Yes,
Okay.
I will be. I'll be sending it out on the same text thread once I get it posted.
Okay.
So it should be later tonight, probably, or tomorrow morning. It has to process, and then I've got to upload it to Vimeo. I got to download it from Zoom, upload it to Vimeo, and then have it processed in Vimeo, and then I can finally get a link and send it out. But I'm going to try to do it, like I say, tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep. So happy to do that. Has this been helpful? Good.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Good. All right. Well, let's pray, and I'll let you go, and you guys can get back to it. And then Joanne, I'll stay on and talk to you because you sent me a text. I forgot. Yep. Lord and Father, we thank you so much for your grace. We thank you for each of these young people and those that couldn't be with us tonight that are busy. But we pray, Lord, that you'll help them have a successful finish to the school year, to use their summer to plan for more ministry for you. And Lord, may you open up the doors in front of us so that we can bring those who need to be part of ACF into that, and also to a saving relationship with you. So guide and direct and bless each one of us now. May our hearts and our lives be yours in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I will post the link in our, I'll also send it to the ACF web emails as well for this video. So if you want to just, send it out to other people you think should watch it, go for it. Okay.